Hi guys, welcome to week 9. So week 9, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. We're going to be discussing another chapter in our book. All right, so okay. You guys see it okay? All right. Sometimes there's a little black box on it. I apologize for it. I tried to turn my camera off because I've been told that that helps not you're like seeing the big screen of me. And I also try to minimize it. So today we're continuing our talk about the entrepreneurial process. So please do a summary about this. In this particular chapter, we're identifying exciting entrepreneurial opportunities, evaluating exciting entrepreneurial opportunities. We're modeling the entrepreneurial process for the exciting entrepreneurial opportunities, and we're creating entrepreneurial planning documents. Successful entrepreneurship occurs when creative individuals bring together a new way of meeting needs or wants. This is established through a pattern process, one that mobilizes and directs resources to deliver specific product or service to those in a way that's financially viable. While these could be 100% business ideas, they could also be concepts that are based on the spirit of altruism or even nonprofit. You know that Taylor Swift has a song called Altruism, right? For innovative ideas that are strictly business concepts, sustainability can and should be embedded with the design of the product and the operations by applying criteria to reaching toward benign or at least considerably safer energy and material use. A reduced resource footprint or elimination of inequitable social impacts due to the venture's operations, including supply chain impacts. Entrepreneurial innovation is combined with sustainability principles and can be broken down into the following key 4 elements. Each one requires analysis. Each one needs to be analyzed separately, and then consolidation of factors can fit together into a coherent whole. These 4 elements are as follows: opportunity, market, entrepreneurial, and team. We have also resources. Successful ventures are characterized by coherence or fit across throughout the steps. These interests and skills and entrepreneurial fit with the product design and offering. The team's qualifications could match the required knowledge needed to launch the venture. These could be financially viable demand. There are enough people are at financially viable price for the product or service, and for the course, early adopters, those willing to purchase have identified. Finally, sufficient resources, including financial resources, operating capital, office space, equipment, production facilities, components, materials, and expertise. They must be identified and brought to bear. Each piece is discussed in more detail with the sections that follow. We identify, we analyze, we plan the opportunity. As discussed in the last section, opportunity recognition is active. Cognitive process or processes which individuals conclude that they have identified potential to create something new that is potential and to generate economic value that's not currently being exploited or developed and viewed as desirable in the society in which it occurs. Then the development is consistent with existing legal and moral conditions because the opportunity recognition is cognitive process, according to Barron, people who learn to be more effective at recognizing opportunities by changing the way they think about opportunities and how to recognize them. What are you offering, doing, selling, contributing? The new ventures offer solutions to people's problems. And the concept requires you not only to examine the item or service description, but also to further understand a group of people whose unmet needs are your meeting, often called market analysis. In an entrepreneurial innovation circumstance, you must ask the following question. What's a solution which you want someone to pay? Is it a service or a product or some kind of combination? To whom are you selling it to? Is the buyer an actual user? Who makes the purchase decision and what customer's problem? And how does your service or product address it? We have the entrepreneurial process, identify, analyze, and plan the entrepreneur and entrepreneurial team. The opportunity and the entrepreneur must be intertwined in a way that optimizes the probability for success. People often become entrepreneurs when they see an opportunity. They are compelled to start something. They find out whether they can convert the opportunity into going source with fulfillment and potential to gain financial gain. That means that ideally the opportunity is there. The entrepreneur's life experience, education, skills, work exposure, and network of contracts align with the opportunity. They've covered this in previous sections, and you need to refer back to consider the role of the entrepreneurial skills, abilities, and cognition. So here's a fun fact. I work pretty much 7 days a week, right? And I have a job on Saturdays where I tutor. So I'm like an independent contractor at one place, and then the other place I'm like hourly salary, right? So I gave up, well, it's a 7-hour day. So I had 1 hour with the independent contractor company and 6 with the other company. So I did 3 hours with the company, and I told them that, I needed this day off like a month in advance because I was going to do some volunteer work. So I ended up doing volunteer work, and I gave up 4 hours of paid day to do that. A couple weeks ago, I did a walk for Alzheimer's, and I also gave up a 4-hour day to do that. So I've been doing a lot of volunteering, and I'm giving up paid days, like income to go with my free time. Some of these people do not appreciate it. And one particular lady, one of my students I had 2 years ago, her mom started her own like tutoring and workshop company. Well, she put probably $500 into this project we were going to do together. So she went and bought all these paints. She went and bought 2 dozen donuts, and she bought these canvases and tablecloths, and she paid $70 to reserve the room for 2 hours at the community center. Well, she gave me a bunch of flyers, and she was like real gung ho. And we met 3 times on Zoom, and we met 3 times in person. So this is like 6 hours already of unpaid work. And then I go and I volunteer 4 hours with her. So that's 10 hours of my time that's not paid that I could be earning money somewhere else. So I look at it like this. If I was earning maybe like really low income, maybe I was going to get $10 an hour, and I just donate 10 hours of my time. That's like $100 or more, right? Sorry. So I looked at it like this, that it's costing me more money to volunteer for her. So I don't think I'm going to volunteer for her anymore because she was not appreciative at all. So she was very like, oh, you're such a good artist. I think we can make a lot of money. It's kind of like volunteer, but if we make over what I put into it. So she said, I'm probably going to put like maybe 150 into it. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and pay you back the $9 for the book you bought. And I also bought some Halloween candy also for the kids. And she says, I'll give you the $9 back for the book as soon as, they pay me for the event. So she's like, oh, I told all the kids I tutor and all my clients I have, because I've had this company since 2021. And I think we're going to have a really good turnout. Then she texts me 2 days before and says, bad news. I don't know. Should we cancel the event? No one's even RSVP. I said, why did you put on the flyer you can pay at the door? Because it's $5 less to use cash at the door than to buy it on Eventbrite. She's like, I don't know. Maybe I should cancel, but they're not going to give the money back. I said, well, we should just do it anyway because, we should just do it just to see. Well, it happened that nobody came. And then she was like, oh, nobody came. And oh, yeah, 2 days before we met at her house, I met at her house, and she was kind of rude. And she was like, oh, I want you to buy the donuts. And I was like, I'm not getting paid for this. You know what I mean? I just gave you the $9 book. And then I told her no. And she's like, but I have a lot of things I'm doing. And then when I got there, she's like, I thought you were going to do all the work. And I was like, no. So needless to say, she had a very bad attitude, and she had a raffle, and she whispers in my ear, I don't have money to pay you back for the book. And I whispered back, and I said, well, don't worry about it. It's a donation. And then at the end of the event, she tells me, well, I can't pay you for anything as this volunteer job. I said, that's fine. I already know it's volunteer. And I said to her, I gave up 4 hours of paid day to come do this. Well, I gave up $60 to be here too. And I said, I said, well, maybe you can advertise in the newspaper, or, why don't you think about advertising every single day on Facebook? Because Facebook people are on there more than Eventbrite. She's like, I think I'm going to do advertising on TikTok. So I just have to step away from this volunteer job. I love volunteering, helping with the community. Every week I donate food to the food bank. Every month I donate clothes to the clothing outreaches by where I live. Like I said, I work 7 days a week. I have tons of clothes because like I was doing all kinds of jobs. I was a waitress. I was doing in-home health care. I do teaching in person. I do tutoring in person. So I have like so many clothes for the different jobs I have. So I'm constantly like, you know, making them faded, or I just don't like them anymore, or I switch jobs, so I don't need that color anymore. So that's the whole thing. Is I'm already donating a lot of resources, like items to the community, food at the food bank. My chickens donated 20 dozen eggs. Yeah, 20 sets of dozen eggs. And I've given people in the community free chickens. I mean, I give a lot of myself to the community. So I'm stepping away from this volunteer job and say like, hey, this volunteer job puts you in the red. You gave up 4 hours of paid day on Saturday. You gave up 6 hours during the week or more to do these like dumb meetings that you're not getting paid for. And at this point, I just have to step away because it's costing me money. Like, say every time I want to volunteer, I have to meet like 6 times, not paid for an hour each. Then I have to do like 4 hours of unpaid time to work at it. And then I have to buy the resources. Because she turned around and asked me, can you spend a couple $100 and buy a bunch of stuff for the next project? And I looked at her and said, what? She's like, well, if you don't feel like it, just talk to me. Maybe you don't want to do this anymore. I mean, why should I be spending like $200, $300? And she's like, well, I bought all of the paint and everything this time. And I looked at her and said, but you have all this paint for the next time. You know what I mean? You have to put money out first. And she's like, well, I just don't know. Like maybe I should do the painting at my house or something next time. My thing is, maybe her daughters can do it. She has a high school daughter and a college daughter, and her college daughter was my student 2 years ago. So, you know, she hooked me up with a lady to tutor. That was an epic fail because she told me the lady wanted to interview me before we could do our first session. And she said, the lady wants to interview you an hour before you start your session. I said, that's fine. So I went ahead and locked in 2 hours for a Friday, 1 hour of unpaid meeting time with the mom and 1 hour of paid time. Well, we met and we did it ended up being 2.5 hours. And I only got paid for 1 hour. She's like, well, sorry about that. I didn't know the meeting was going to be an hour and a half. I was like, that's okay. Then the mom canceled 2 different times after that. And I had to say, like, I can't do this. Like, you canceled twice. I put you on my schedule for each Thursday at 11 o'clock and you canceled the last 2 Thursdays. So I'm sorry. And she was like, well, I can't guarantee Thursdays. I'm like, but you canceled the two in a row. Like, that's not cool because, I already put that on my schedule. So just be wary of when you're going to be selling a service that sometimes, or even when you're volunteering like I am, sometimes people take advantage, you know. I know a couple of people that I told them that you can get a free first lesson for tutoring, and guess what? Like 5 people wanted a free lesson and then they didn't even sign up. They just wanted me to like pretty much babysit their kid for an hour. So you have to think about that too. People are the same when you give them free items. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show called The Prophet, but in the show called The Prophet, he was talking to a family and they were selling mochis, and the son went into business with his dad, but he's such a giving guy that he was just giving out mochis to the community. And guess what? Nobody was buying any. They just wanted them all for free. So that's something to think about. You got to be careful with that because they'll just keep taking, and they'll never pay you for your item. I was pretty sad to see today that another company I worked for went out of business. So in 2021, when COVID restrictions were lifted in California, I still was teaching online, but then I was teaching a little bit in person too. And I was tutoring online and tutoring two sisters in person. So it was COVID, so the mom was kind of scared about it. So we met at Starbucks and we did tutoring outside usually. And that was in 2021, August. Well, I picked up some jobs and I was working at Caro's, which is located in Cerritos, California. They're known for pies. It's kind of like a Coco's or Sherry's. They're all like owned by the same people. They all went under in 2022. But I worked there and then I was working and sometimes I wasn't clocked in. So I was pretty much working a couple hours for free and the tips were terrible. So I ended up not working there and I got a job at Little Fisherman. I liked how Little Fisherman was. They were great. And he wasn't doing good financially, so he connected with the food bank in Cyprus, and the food bank in Cyprus would give the community members $12 vouchers so they could go and eat there, so they could get like a salad or some rice and a taco. So I thought that was great, but I just heard that they went out of business this month, and then last year in 2023, I worked at this Italian restaurant named Buena Gente, and they went out of business too. The cook, he was having his sixth kid. Yep, six. He's on his second marriage and he's having his sixth child. So he was pretty busy and he said he didn't know if he could work there anymore because he needs, a job with benefits and stuff because he's got so much responsibility. So those are things to think about, when you have a product or service. Do you have your clientele? Is there something going on where you can get paid a different resource? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Cyprus Food Bank decided that they weren't going to have him anymore as a contractor. And now he won't be getting that $12 from each person. So that could be a problem. So that's something to think about. Because that means that you have extra food usually at the end of the night because you're anticipating you're going to be making all those. Because it's a pretty much set schedule. Like you have some choices. It's $12. So like you can get two tacos with rice or you can get a little side salad. So like you have different options. And so that's easy. He knows like, hey, I should make like a couple of things of salad every day, or I should make sure I'm making at least 30 tacos because I have this group coming in and usually, we have this much. So that's probably what happened. He probably lost that contract and he didn't, know he needed salads and stuff. Maybe they're getting food at the food bank now. So it's hard, He had back problems too. He had like back surgery problems. The owner was like in his 60s and he had back problems. And the girl working there had cystic fibrosis, so she had breathing problems. And the other kids were like in high school. So I used to take out the trash sometimes because his back was really bad. And the other girl couldn't do it because of her lungs. So yeah, those are things to think about. Here's a little short video from Crash Course, and this one is about how to develop a business idea. And yes, at the end of yesterday, or no, the day before yesterday when I was volunteering at the community center, I told the lady, she's like, I'm just upset right now because we only got two people that came to the event. It was a mother and a daughter, and they texted me and asked if it was too late to come. They forgot about it. I told them to come. But if they didn't come, we wouldn't have anybody. And I said, well, at least we got two people. Because when she was complaining, after half hour, no one came. And I told her what we're missing is prayer. So I told her we should pray to God that whoever comes gets blessed. And that was that. So we did bless two people in the community. They had fun. They went home with candy and a book, and I selected some nice music to play on my cell phone. And they're just able to relax and just paint a donut for Do Not Give Up. So sometimes you just have to chalk it up to, all right, I was a loss today. I was minus. I lost 10 hours of my life on this project and 4 hours of pay. But as long as I bless somebody, made their day good, then I know it was okay. And God will provide elsewhere and renew the time and money that I lost doing the project. And that's how you have to look at it sometimes. Oh, it sounds on. Okay.
above our heads or a eureka moment, we imagine ideas bursting out of creative people's brains like we all live in some cartoon universe and a lucky few of us get struck with inspiration. Maybe you're wondering whether entrepreneurship is for you because you don't think you've had any great ideas, but just wait, because we can all get them. Or maybe you have an idea and you're not sure what to do next. How do you feed, water, and nurture this tiny seed so it grows into a whole business? Don't worry, we've got you. I'm Anna Akana, and this is Crash Course Business Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs aren't a special group of people gifted with all the good ideas. They believe in themselves and the value of their idea enough to take a financial risk to make it a reality. Looking back at the people we now think of as great entrepreneurs, these people were just looking to make life easier or better in some way, from inventing the wheel to dreaming up the dishwasher. But what exactly sparked their imagination? What was their apple falling from a tree? Innovative ideas can be traced to three main sources: our passions, our complaints, and our egos. Let's start with the exciting one, our passions. If you weren't working at your current job or going to school, what would you do? Many ideas come from us being excited about something and wanting to share it with the world. It could be grandma's hot sauce recipe, video game walkthroughs, or upcycled yard sale furniture. Sometimes you start doing something as a hobby, like art, but then you might get commission requests from people you don't even know. So if you take a risk, that hobby could become a full-time job. Next, there are complaints. There must be something that bugs you, whether it's tangled headphones or a lack of movies directed by women. Dropbox was founded because someone was annoyed they kept forgetting their thumb drive. Under Armour was founded because someone got so tired of their shirt getting so sweaty they had to change it multiple times during one workout. So, if you've ever found yourself thinking, wow, I really wish someone would do something about that, guess what? You can do something about it. And of course, there are the I can do it better ideas. Everyone has them. Our egos are a great place to find innovation and motivation. Maybe you visit the same coffee shop every morning, and after the 1,000th cup of hot sludge, you are so done. You could make a much better cup of coffee, and the cups would be compostable, and the tip jar would have a witty joke, and you would have fresh scones. Let that outrage fuel you. Think of something that needs freshening up. Uber and Lyft looked at the taxi industry and saw something outdated and clunky, so they made sleek apps with automated payments and directions. Now, obviously, there can be an overlap between these three motivations. You might be able to make a better cup of coffee than the big chain in town. That's ego. But that's only because you're into coffee and experiment with techniques and blends at home. That's passion. And maybe that hobby started because there weren't any coffee shops in your neighborhood. That's a complaint. Whether or not you have an idea notebook filled to the brim, you do have experiences, opinions, and a whole complicated life. And these are the building blocks of entrepreneurial innovation. So the first step is acknowledging you have an idea. Step 2 is understanding the problem at the root of your idea. Think of your idea as the beginning. You may have your own experience of a certain problem, but by understanding what others think, your idea can grow and affect more people. So when you're chatting about that big chain coffee shop with your friends, listen to what they say. Have they been there? What do they like? What do they hate? Maybe they complain that place is a health hazard, or their service sucks, or they say, I never go there because I only drink tea. So use that quick insight to make your idea better. Maybe your coffee shop will focus on excellent staff training to ensure high-quality coffee, cleanliness, and customer service. And you'll offer lots of tea alongside those artisanal lattes. Even after you understand the problem, there's more talking to do. Let's look at my latest big idea. It's great, right? But now that I've told you, I'm going to have to kill you. When we have exciting new ideas, our first instinct is to squirrel them away so no one can steal them. But that's bad. When we keep things to ourselves, we end up thinking that shoe umbrellas are the next big thing. We have to share our ideas with the people who are actually going to use the product or service. Otherwise, our solutions inherit our blind spots and biases. They might not actually solve the problem, or they might only be useful for a few people. Let's explore this in a thought bubble. My friend Mary Cherry is deeply passionate about cream puffs. She also happens to be allergic to gluten. Mary was complaining that there were no cream puff bakeries in her whole city, so she launched a gluten-free pastry shop called Dream Puffs on her block. Now, Mary was so enthusiastic about bringing her dream to life that she didn't talk to potential customers or even her friend and fellow cream puff connoisseur, Paul, before launching. She put in lots of time and money to set up her shop, complete with color-coordinated mixers, a chic logo, and a few flavors of gluten-free cream puff recipes. During the grand opening, Dream Puffs get some buzz, but as the first week goes on, many potential customers don't actually buy her gluten-free cream puffs. Most of the people who show up have more than one allergy. Mary's cream puffs are gluten-free, but all of her luscious fillings have cream. She didn't even think about using dairy-free options for people with dairy allergies or lactose intolerance. And her non-basic flavors involve nuts like pistachios and almonds, but a lot of her potential customers have nut allergies. These are pretty huge setbacks. So now Mary has to spend more time and more money to develop new recipes and make sure that the quality and her star baker reputation is maintained. And she has to retrain her staff. If Mary had been willing to share her menu, she could have optimized her cream puff ideas for potential customers before launching, and she could have stirred up even more hype and brand recognition for Dream Puffs on her opening day. Thanks, Thought Bubble. It's easy for us to judge a story, but who would you share an idea with? Your mom? Your trusted friends? Everyone on your morning bus ride? After all, a bus is just a limo full of friends you haven't met yet. It depends on the idea, but generally at this early stage, we want to target two main types of people. First, customers who might have the problem we're trying to solve, and second, people who can help us think through our idea. For example, we could look for a college campus with professors in entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial consulting, or turn to entrepreneurial networking groups like those in co-working spaces. And in the US, we have small business development centers. Around the world, you can check with your local government for similar organizations that provide education and financing for budding entrepreneurs. All these options are well connected in the entrepreneurial community, and it's their goal to mentor, consult, and connect fledgling entrepreneurs. Do not be afraid to reach out and ask for help. But before we get carried away, we have to remember, we're still making sure that our idea is good and talking with potential customers. This is not the finance stage. We aren't asking people for seed money. Yet. The next step in workshopping an idea is to think big about the fundamental pieces of your business. And a great way to do that is with a business plan tool like the Business Model Canvas, a lean startup template created by a company called Strategizer. Okay, cool, yeah, I'll fill that out in a second. I'm just finishing page 22 of my business plan where I discuss exactly which bees will provide the honey I need to use to sweeten the tea in my swanky cat cafe. Hate to break it to you, but the days of 30-page business plans are pretty much over, even if someday you need financing from a bank or a venture capitalist. Most lenders care about your story, proof your idea works and is wanted, an understanding of your customers, and your financial plan, which often takes 5 to 10 pages tops. And the Business Model Canvas has sections for all of those things. Really, filling out a business plan or business model canvas lets you collect all your thoughts about your idea and visualize how your business might exist. Let's explore the canvas using a little company you've probably never heard of, Netflix. For each section, we need to answer a key question. We'll start with value proposition. What is the value we deliver to our customers? Basically, why do they want whatever we're selling? Netflix leverages technology for global audiences who want on-demand, customized entertainment. Next, we move to the cluster for customers. Let's think about our people in 3 pieces. First, who even are they? All the types of people interested in our product form the customer segments section. In 2019, over 50% of Netflix's business came from subscribers outside the US. They use internal algorithms to predict and offer certain programs to certain demographics. Once we decide who our customers are, it's time to define the relationship in the customer relationship section. What type of relationship do our customers expect us to establish? Netflix customers expect quality programming, good predictive suggestions, excellent customer service, and high-end technology performance. And then, through what channels are we going to speak to them? How are we reaching our customers? Netflix uses emails, streaming apps, and social media campaigns to communicate with customers. They're even on Snapchat. Now that we know the who, we need to describe the infrastructure of our business, which also has 3 pieces. To start with the basics, what do we actually do? These are our key activities. Netflix licenses existing content and creates their own that they then deliver through an online platform. And they do all the usual business things like sales and marketing. After that, we have to decide what do we need to do those things. These are our key resources. Netflix relies on so many resources to keep their massive wheels turning. They have people making content, including their in-house studios, engineers to make sure their website and apps work, customer service to troubleshoot, attorneys to deal with licensing, internal teams for promotion, and a global network of data storage facilities. Then remember, we don't have to do this alone. We need to look for key partners and ask, who do we need to team up with in order to deliver our value proposition? Netflix partners with law firms, studios, agents of actors, and other companies who want to co-promote products, like Comcast Xfinity or T-Mobile. Finally, after we've figured out the who and the what of our business model, we have to think about money. Half of that is our revenue streams. Where are we making money? What are customers willing to pay for each product or service? As of 2019, Netflix uses 3 membership subscriptions: Basic, which is $7.99 a month, Standard, $10.99 a month, and Premium, $13.99 a month. Unfortunately, entrepreneurship isn't free. There are costs involved in doing things for your people. So where are we going to spend the money? For Netflix, examples of costs are employees, licensing and production fees for content, servers for data storage, brick and mortar workplace locations, DVD production and mail, and R&D. And that is Netflix in a nutshell. This is exactly the goal of the business model canvas, to provide a framework for anyone to break down the pieces of a business, especially your future business. Today, we grew the tiny seed of an idea into a full business model. So remember that everyone has ideas, and the real work of an entrepreneur is sharing them and getting lots of feedback. Next time, we'll figure out what you're worth. And by that I mean we will delve into value propositions and how to make something that potential customers will think has inherent value and is worth monetary investment. Ooh, very sexy. Thank you for watching Crash Course Business, which is sponsored by Google. If you want to help keep Crash Course free for everybody forever, you can join our community on Patreon. And if
Okay, so that's some good points, because you do have to a lot of times put money out, like advertising, or maybe like even if you're not selling like a product or service and you actually need the item, you should have business cards. So just to let you know, yesterday I did trunk or treat at my work. And so we all wore our work shirts, and I brought candy. We all brought our own candy, but then we all ran out, but my boss had candy for us too. And because the economy is kind of weird and a lot of people are low on money, I think a lot of people are going to these free things. So like even like parents want candy, you know? So the cool thing is when you do these events, you can invite other vendors and other businesses to come out. So in our little area, we have a chiropractor and a bank. So the chiropractor was there with their little setup. And then next year they have like a wellness center, but I don't think they want to participate. And then I don't think the bank participated, but we did have the fire department there, and they're letting the kids go and see a tour of what the fire engine looks like. And we had a Mary Kay lady that was there. No, take it back. I think the wellness center was there. They were like talking about facials, and they were giving out candy. And she was dressed like a princess. And then the other 2 ladies were like queens, and they were from Mary Kay, and they had the most adorable trunk decorated for their trunk or treat event. And then I did like just like the Halloween type Western theme for mine. It was cute. Last year I did Party in the Trunk, and it was like balloons and stuff like that, piñatas. So I try to do a different theme each year. Usually like give my little niece the decorations. So I gave her the decorations because I had like Halloween ones this time. But um we had a lady that was making cartoon pictures. Afterwards, she told us that we could get our picture done for free if we wanted to, but I didn't have anybody with me, so it was kind of corny. But it was cool because like some friends were doing it, brothers and sisters were doing it. Like people that were working there volunteering, she was letting them do it for free. And then we had a painting lady that was there, another one that has her own sticker business. Oh, we had a lawyer. They made cute little gift bags for everybody, all the kids. The art lady was giving out stuff from like Dollar Tree art, you know? So that was cool. And you have to put money out though. I mean, like I spent a lot of money on candy and stuff between the the art day and the trunk or treat, I probably spent $100 on candy and little things. And that was just for 2 days of doing events. The day before, they had a huge event downtown where I live, and all the shops and the vendors and even like private vendors, they set up little tables and was giving out candy. And they did like, it wasn't trunk or treat, it was more like tables set out, some of them dressed up and had like little things. So that was cool. A lot of people come to those events. I know trick or treating is next week. So on Thursday, so we'll see. But that's a way for you to advertise as well. Have candy, give business cards. I know this plant nursery. They have flowers and stuff. They had a little display downtown and they had a table set out. They had like little plant figurines and she was dressed up like a ladybug and she was giving out little teeny candy bags and has her sticker of her company and it says Elson Nursery on it. So that when you go home and you eat the candy, you'll see the sticker and be like, oh, we should go check this place out. It's in the community, you know? So that's advertising subtle, like subtle advertising. Just stick a sticker there. You give somebody a free item, put a sticker there. People love free stuff. They'll wait like an hour for something for free, you know? And does the team as a unit have a background, skills, understanding, opportunity? Can the team act in collaborative unit? Make sure to use a note the who and the what expertise is needed in your team as part of your entrepreneurial plan. We want to identify, analyze, and plan the resources. We have capital. You have the know-how, facilities, equipment, and transport. Overall process, entrepreneurial plan, communication principles. As Hindle and Mainprice, 2006 note, business plan writers must strive to communicate their expectations about the nature of an uncertain future. However, liabilities of the newness make the communicating as expertise future a new opportunity is difficult. So existing organizations, they outlined 5 communication principles. You have expectations, translation of your vision, your venture, and how it perform into a format compatible with expectations. Communicate that you have identified and understood the key success factors and risks. Projected market is large and you expect good market penetration. You have strategy for commercialization, profitability, and market domination. And you can establish and protect a priority and competitive position. Milestones, we have anchoring key events in the plan with specific financial and quantitative research or quantitative values, communicate your major plan objectives, form a financial targets, and you address the dual need for planning and flexibility. You understand hazards of neglecting linkages between certain events, and you understand importance of quantitative values. And of course, nothing last. New combination upon venture is built. The magnitude, opportunities, market size, and market growth trends, and ventures value from the market, percentage, proposed or market share in the values. Entrepreneur model, a brief and clear statement of how the idea actually becomes a business that creates value. Communicate who pays, how much, how often, activities company must perform to produce a product, deliver to the customers, and earn revenue, and be able to defend assertions that the venture is attractive and sustainable and has competitive edge. Okay, here's another video. So how do you know it's valuable? Oops.
Use the word value. We're usually trying to describe something's worth, importance, or usefulness to us. I value your opinion. That's nice. That hat seems like a great value for the price. Cha-ching! He had nothing of value to say and completely talked over the professor the whole time. Rude. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, value is everything. Value is the core of any business, and it directs all future decisions, innovations, and customers that get targeted. Even if we've thought about the big picture, if we can't explain how an idea makes someone's life better, then why should anyone pay attention? So let's talk strategies to answer the two fundamental questions at the core of any business model. What value do I deliver? And who are my customers? I'm Anna Akana, and this is Crash Course Business Entrepreneurship. Sometimes business jargon can seem confusing, but here's the trick. The words usually have pretty literal meanings. Since value means worth, a value proposition is the worth that you offer to your customers. Typically, a value proposition is a sentence or paragraph that clearly articulates what your service, business, or organization does, who it brings value to, and why it's valuable for those people. It should be clear why someone should choose your company over the competition. Value can be something tangible, like offering products at a lower price or higher quality, or something more abstract, like better customer service. For example, Slack is a messaging app designed to reduce email and streamline team communication, or in their words, make work life simpler, more pleasant, and more productive. Slack states the value for the customer right up front with their value proposition. Be more productive at work with less effort. Without thinking about value, we risk developing something that customers don't need or want. Cheetos lip balm, anyone? No takers? Are you sure? All right. And don't get me wrong, creating a value proposition can seem daunting. We have to be confident in ourselves and the work that we've done to develop our ideas. So, what are you worth? Excuse me? What are you worth? Like, what's your value? Why should people care about you and your work? I guess I tell stories with my art that help people find meaning and feel less alone, but also, how do you even judge the value of a movie or a song or a YouTube video or any art, you know? When we write a value proposition, we have to think about two main things. First, the experiences of our customers, and second, the capabilities of our product or service. If we've got those down, it'll basically write itself. To make sure we're covering our bases, we can use the value proposition canvas created by a company called Strategizer. Half of the work is understanding customers. Gotta catch them all. And to do that, there are three main questions to ask. Number one, what are their jobs? And this is a little confusing because I don't mean like their literal jobs, more like what do they do at work and in everyday life, and what problems do they have? Number two, what pains do they experience, like risks, obstacles, or bad outcomes? And number three, what positive gains are they looking for and receiving? Everyone is trying to maximize gains and minimize pains, or at least strike a healthy balance. So we entrepreneurs can try to tip the scales towards gains. After considering the customer experience, we can turn the spotlight onto our potential business with three response questions. Number one, what products and services are we offering customers to help them complete jobs? Number two, is what we're offering a pain reliever that cuts out risks, obstacles, and bad outcomes? And number three, better yet, is what we're offering a gain creator? Together, customers and products help us define our value. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty details of writing a value proposition, shall we? In order to figure out the jobs, pains, and gains of our customers, we have to find them and get nosy about their lives. But try to keep it professional. This is entrepreneurship. Leave your Facebook stalking skills out of it. Some might call this research finding your target market. the people most likely to buy from you. There are lots of ways to connect with potential customers, but industry favorites include interviewing them one-on-one, holding focus groups, or conducting surveys, either in person or through an online service like SurveyMonkey. Remember, the goal is to learn from potential customers to turn your idea into a top-notch solution to a problem, whether you're working on spill-proof takeout containers or more affordable childcare. So sleuth out the who, what, where, when, why, and how of your target market. Who do you think or know is experiencing the problem? How old are they? Do they have a family, or do they speak different languages? Are they a cat? Please say they're a cat. I understand them. What are they doing when they experience the problem? Are they working at a desk job, crafting something, or exercising? Maybe they're hiding under a blanket away from the world and their problems until they crumble into dust. Where are they experiencing the problem? Are they at work or at home? On a plane, a train, an automobile? When are they experiencing the problem? Is there a time of day, week, or year? Is it a seasonal problem? Maybe it changes with the phase of the moon and the flow of the tides. I mean, we cannot help it when Mercury's in retrograde. Take it from a Leo. Why are they experiencing the problem? Why are others not experiencing the problem? And like, why me? Why is it always me? And finally, how are different people experiencing the problem differently? How are they learning to cope with the problem or develop their own solutions? I mean, ignoring the problem is an option, but it's not always the best way to cope, says my therapist. All these questions paint a picture of who we're dealing with and give us a peek at their jobs. And when we're dealing with value propositions, customer jobs can be functional, social, or emotional. Functional jobs are what we traditionally recognize as work that pays the bills. A big mistake when writing a value proposition is only focusing on the functional jobs of our customers. But customers feel social obligations to look good or support their community. And emotional jobs are all the work we put in to grow as humans. The ultimate goal of understanding customer jobs is to get in their heads. What they do illuminates what they value, or what they'd like to value. Entrepreneurs want to change the status quo. So if we know what customers value, we can figure out how to get them what they want in a new or better format. Remember the point of the value proposition. Why should people choose you over everyone else? Disruption is one strategy to give customers value, and it's a hot business vocab word. Instead of challenging existing markets and trying to make our ideas stand out in a field of others, why not create a new market, often called a blue ocean? So our idea is like a seed sprouting a whole new garden. Here, we're not talking about value that comes from lower prices or faster delivery. We're talking about letting customers achieve the same jobs in a totally new format. Like once upon a time, radio was the cream of the crop for media in everyone's home. Radio listeners had two needs. One, to be entertained, and two, to stay informed. And radio met those needs by broadcasting different programs, from music to dramatic theater to news. Then along came television, a new disruptive media format that entertained and informed people. Because TV achieved similar customer needs in a fresh way, TV entrepreneurs didn't have to compete within the world of radio. They built their own world, created new value, and maybe even found new customers who weren't interested in radio at all. Of course, we know jobs don't come without pains. We're all human. The struggle is real. So when we think about our customers, we need to consider what risks or annoyances are getting in their way. If we can address those pains, that means we'll create better business with more value. If a customer's job is applying to college, some pains could be the clunky admissions website from 2002, application fees and tuition costs, a lack of family support, or the trade-off between working to earn money and shelling out money for another degree. And customers wouldn't do jobs at all without gains, which tells us what they need or want to experience before or after a job. Sticking with that college application example, the gains might be better career prospects, a higher salary after graduation, exposure to new thoughts and ideas, a fresh start, or new friends. Now that we've researched our potential customers, we've filled out half of our value proposition canvas. Or you can sort all that knowledge with one of those conspiracy investigation walls with push pins and multiple colors of string and newspaper clippings. You do you. I mean, it's your value proposition. Using all this info, we can prune our big entrepreneurial idea to make sure that our products and services are truly alleviating pains, creating gains, and adding value to people's lives. Once we've done this, our value proposition will be flourishing. To see how, let's go to the thought bubble. Stitch Fix is a personal styling service that sends clothes and accessories to people. It has customers all across the US and soon across the UK. Those customers have many jobs to do, but an obvious one is shop for clothes. Let's think of Stitch Fix customers as busy, technology-savvy people ages 25 to 50 living in the US, of all genders and working across all fields. And they've been willing to consistently spend some money on fashion. They might be pained by lots of things, like no time as they try to juggle work and family, a limited budget, living far from clothing stores, or having no idea what their body type is. Pear, apple, pineapple, I don't know. After exploring their target market, Stitch Fix offers pain relievers like a mobile app for convenience, different packages for different budgets, doorstep delivery, an easy return system, and personally styled wardrobes for different body types. Now, these customers might shop for clothes because they want gains of looking good and feeling confident in and out of the workplace. So Stitch Fix wants to deliver that gain. But they also create new gains using technology like their surveys for measurements and preferences, algorithms, and personal stylists to help their customers feel good about the clothes they get and save time by not wandering around a mall. Combining all this information, Stitch Fix came up with the elegant value proposition. We save our clients time by doing the shopping. If we were to get a little more detailed for them, we might say Stitch Fix leverages technology to save working clients time by using personalized measurements, preferences, and stylists to shop for clothes, which are delivered straight to their door. Thanks, Thought Bubble. After all this thinking and research, our value proposition is donezo. So when you're asked, what are you worth? Squish down the panic because you've put in the work and you can show them what you've got. So, what are you worth? My audience values entertainment and authentic connection, so I use writing, acting, motion graphics, and music to tell stories that make people feel less alone and highlight the complexities of the human experience. Today, we learned about value and how customer-driven thinking can help us show off what our business has to offer. By understanding customer jobs, pains, and gains, we can make sure our products and services alleviate pains or create gains. And then boom! We have a value proposition, a statement basically saying why we're better than everybody else. Next time, we'll target the competition. Well, not target them like in target practice, but we will talk about how to figure out who you're competing with in this entrepreneurship arena and what can be learned from observing them.
All right, so
Sometimes business jargon.
That's some good points you made because your product or service should be valuable. And as for the lady I was telling you about that has the art, the issue is that there's that other lady in the community I told you about I met yesterday who's giving out free art from the Dollar Tree. So like Dollar Tree has like the little art section where you can do like the little tiny paintings and it's like $1.25. But she must have bought over $100 of those and was giving them out free yesterday at our trunk or treat with her flyer saying that she was having an art day and it was going to be $35 to $40 depending on which one you go to. That's the same price that this lady does, except this lady isn't giving out anything for free. She's having me pass out flyers she made at UPS. And I did that for her. I didn't get paid for that either. I didn't count that as the hours that I was meeting with her working. So you have to look at it, the value. And is it time sensitive? Do you have that time to waste? I don't. I'm not retired. I'm not a high school kid. And if I was in high school, I had a job in high school and I played on sports teams. So, and I have my own volunteering at school. I was in a group called Acts in Action and I was in a volunteer class at school and we learned about the book of Acts. And then we actually went to convalescent homes once a month and we spent time with the people there. And then on the weekends, once a month, I would go to Mexico and I'd help at a church there. And we'd usually do some construction or do some work in the home, the homes there. We would do like getting together food bags, stuff like that. Well, that brings us to the end of our class. Thank you so much. Don't forget to do a summary about this. And we'll see you guys next time. And thanks for understanding that I had to update my Google to Google One because apparently the free Google system wasn't working well. It said I had to update. Of course, I had to pay because they only give you, so many months for free and I didn't know that. So, but it's all good. It's updated to Google One and everything should work again. Okay. Thanks so much. Talk to you later. Bye.